I froze. One of those sales where I just froze.
Really?
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to another Shiny Bright Doggo video. It is early in the morning because Janine and I are outside of an estate sale that we've been eyeing for weeks. It looks like it's Christmas vintage mania in there. But there's a lot of competition. Just take a look at these photos. Oh my goodness, there are ceramics, there are little ornaments.
I want to say though too that I'm a little worried that like of the prices because they did have a sale,
a pre-sale.
And the Christmas is still there. So that doesn't sound like a great,
Right. What if it was too expensive and people left things behind?
But there's so much there. I'm sure we'll find something really cool for a great deal.
Yeah, and even if the competition is fierce, which we are expecting it to be, even if we can, take home a few things, it will be worth it. We love vintage Christmas. It's what Janine and I collect, partially resell when we, find things that we want to pass along, because we do have quite a collection. But yeah, we just love going to estate sales in our area. A lot of them are digger sales, so you sort of make a pile and then they give you a price at the end. But like Janine said, we're not too sure the prices at this one. When we go in, I probably won't film to start because I'll need both hands. And I didn't bring the GoPro. The GoPro also is really clunky and so I'm not gonna film at first, but then I'll film some of the home stuff and what's left over, and we will show you what, if anything, hopefully we get at the end. So join us as we head into this estate sale for vintage Christmas. So right here is about when things started to calm down after everyone had gone in, and it was quite competitive. And I don't know what it was about this sale, guys, but I just sort of froze. There are sales that will go in and I'm sweeping tables, but this one I really hesitated at a lot of points. As you could see, there was a lot of stuff to look at. And when it came to the holiday, some of it was marked. So I think what really made me so hesitant and I wasn't just filling my bag was that things were priced, and I was a little weary of the prices. In hindsight, I wish I had just sort of, took what I saw. But it was okay because there was so much, there was a lot to go around, and there were other people, who were shopping for Christmas. So it was sort of nice that we all got a bit of everything. These candles were something that I was really thinking about grabbing. They were $25 each. Fantastic price in my opinion, but they're just so big. We're really conscious about storage, and I wouldn't want to resell them because they're big, and they were $25 to begin with. So I did take a look at these ornaments as things started to calm down, and spotted one of those ornaments with the little cotton spun guys on it, which are really unique and rare and really cool. There are also some jewel brights, so I started grabbing those, but you'll notice I'm starting to pick up my pace and not film that well because another woman who was looking at the Christmas started digging through the bin or the box with me. And I don't know about you guys, but when Janine and I go to sales, we don't like to, impede on places that other people are looking. It's just one of sort of the estate sale courtesy rules that we like to go by. And when people do it to us, it just makes me very anxious and I don't know how I feel about that. What do you guys think? Drop a comment. Does this happen to you? Do you have no problem going through a bin somebody else is looking at? I'm a little torn here, but I did end up getting all the ornaments I wanted, and then I moved on. So at this point, Janine and I, we have no idea what's in each other's bags. We did end up picking some really awesome stuff up, but we're also just looking for anything that people have left behind, like that adorable little snowman guy. There were some glass sun catchers that I took a look at, but ultimately left behind. Janine noticed this really cool wrapping paper, vintage wrapping paper, including the Care Bears one. It was so cool, guys. But again, not sure what we would do with it personally, so we left that behind. There were a good amount of blow molds, but they were pricey, so interesting. So the set of 3 right there were $250. Seems a little steep to me. What do you guys think? There was also a bunch of Christmas miniatures, which were newer, but still cool. People do collect these. Could be quite resellable, just not what we were there at the sale for. Now, I took a second look at the table and noticed that there were a lot of the Santa dolls left behind. They were marked anywhere from $25 to $35, which is a fair price for a collector, maybe even possibly to resell. But with the condition that they were in, I passed on all of them. Janine picked up this older edition of a Richard Scarry Christmas book. The front was in bad condition, but Janine has a few tricks up her sleeve. So the inside was in really good condition, however, so she was thinking about picking it up. What do you guys think? stick around to the end to see if she did pick it up. We took one more sweep of the downstairs Christmas area. That stuff went so fast. It was quite competitive, but there was a good amount of stuff left over. I was actually surprised how much there was, considering they did do a pre-sale. But at this point, we decided to head upstairs to check out the rest of the home, and it was quite a time capsule in the house as well. Like there were cleaning supplies and different things from, the 50s all the way through to the 80s, which was really cool. As I headed upstairs, I noticed this couch that was filled with old plush, really old plush from like the 50s. I saw that there was a Rushton looking mouse guy. He was in okay condition. He was actually in pretty good condition, but I was afraid of the prices, so I left him behind. And by the time I swung around a second time, somebody had grabbed him, which is okay. On this table, I noticed this really cool 1950s, 1960s microscope with some older phones and record players. On this table, there was just a bunch of different little tchotchkes, Gumby and his horse, Pokey, not Horby. And there was some really cool incense with that old packaging I just love. This was really fun to take a look at. It was really interesting, like the age of things. Like there was stuff like probably from the turn of the century all the way through to the 90s in this home. In another room, there were some linens. I always take a look for Christmas linens, but will typically pass unless they're really ornate, if Santa or if there are reindeer on them. Those are the types of Christmas linens that resell really nicely, and ones that I just personally prefer. There were a lot of older, also bed sheets and towels, which I love to take a look at. I sometimes pick up. I just love the look of them, and if they're in good condition, they can resell. I absolutely fell in love with this bed set, but I wasn't sure what size it was. I liked the pink one too, but noticed I was like touching it because the elastic had gone on that one. But I found the green one. I found the fitted sheet, but unfortunately it was a twin. I also came across some old vintage furs, which can be a controversial topic. How do you guys feel about them? Drop a comment, let me know, I'm curious your thoughts. I met up with Janine. When we go to estate sales, we like to split up and conquer. We both have our bags full of stuff and we don't know what each other has. And we came across this like built-in desk, which was really cool. And there were a lot more little knickknacks hanging out here. Nothing that we took, but fun to see. I actually noticed this little tray of different figures and stuff, like the little California raisin. Just fun to look through and take a look at. This was definitely a sale where there was something for everyone. Like these sewing books or kits were really cool. I especially fell in love with this rocket one. So mid-century, so amazing to see, and really cool that they were kept over the years. It's just not something you really see at every estate sale where most of everything was kept. And what was sort of nice about this estate sale too is that everything was laid out. A lot of the sales where things are older are typically digger sales, but this was a nice mix. We had things laid out, like this really cute syrup glass jar that's in the shape of a bear. So it was nice to be able to sort of look at things without like digging through things as well. I then came across a whole table of cookware, really nice like stainless steel cookware for great prices. Um, Maybe I should have actually picked up a few because they were like pristine. Those things last forever. It's just really high quality stuff for great prices. And then I also came across a primary set missing the yellow bowl for $50. And I was joking to Janine here, like, all she has to do is find the yellow bowl. She finds about like two a month, so she could have her whole primary set. But we left those behind. And then we came across some Stife plush, really cool to see. These were definitely older. We fell in love with this little puppy one in the basket. So cute. I loved the little dogs, and there was even a lion, similar to the one that Janine found at the thrift store a few weeks ago. This home also had a lot of costume jewelry, which was really fun to look at. I took a look at the rings. Some of these even had like the original price stickers on them from like the 60s, which was cool to see. And even though they had a pre-sale and a lot of the clothing, there was still a good amount to look at. Janine pulled out this really cool pink dress, which I thought was really fun to look at. And there were just some really fun prints, things from like the 60s and 70s. We love looking at vintage clothing. Vintage clothing in our area is hot. It resells. People come in from like Brooklyn and Manhattan to pick up items like this and, sell them in the city for really high prices. So they go quickly out here in the suburbs. But these shoes were incredible. I mean, how cool are those? Really fun stuff. Another thing that we really don't have a lot of knowledge in, but can be quite profitable, are vintage perfumes, which there were a lot of here. So I was taking a look, but have no idea what I'm looking at. And lastly, we went into the basement and noticed this little pig, and it actually is not little, it's quite big. I sort of fell in love with it, and for some reason I started filming vertically. I don't know why, but look how cute it is. Janine's piggy bank? Prophecy fulfilled? I don't know, guys. You're going to have to stick around and see, did we pick up that sparkly pink piggy bank? And we happened across this basement kitchen with some old vintage appliances, which were really fun and cool to take a look at. All right, Janine, we are out of the sale. We got some good things. I froze. One of those sales where I just froze.
Really?
Yeah. I
Well,
hesitated.
I guess you weren't moving.
But we did well. All right, guys, Janine and I just pulled out everything, and yeah, I think we did pretty well. We spent $133, which we were just talking off camera is like quite a lot compared to what we probably would have paid for this amount of stuff, what, Janine, 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah.
But I think we still got some amazing things, and we're excited to show you. But one more minute before we jump in, we do want to remind you that tomorrow, Saturday, we have a Whatnot sale.
Woo,
I think we have it
pop-up
for
one.
7 or 7:30, and we're going to be doing a ton of vintage variety. It's going to be a lot of fun. The link is in our description if you want to learn more, and we hope to see you guys there. But let's check out what we got today. So here's everything we got. We're going to show you guys up close some of the things. I think it was pretty good considering. But yeah, the competition was fierce. I'm a little surprised by how little I picked up, but still a really great haul.
I think this was my first time finding a little glittery Santa, which was super exciting. Picked him up along with his non-glittery twin brother. And yeah, I was so excited to find these. This one still has the Made in Japan sticker on the bottom. So very nice, very cute.
There were a few ceramics, quite a few, and I hesitated on some because of the price. But it's okay because I did pick up this whole tower dish for $20.
Very nice.
Which I think is a great price.
25 actually.
25 actually. Still a great price considering it's a whole towered. It's in really good condition. Whole towered is a Christmas ceramic manufacturer from the 1960s. This is marked 1962. Very collectible, very sought after. I have one in the collection, so I might be passing this one along. But always a great estate sale if you can come across and pick up a whole towered. I also came across these Caroler ceramics, which I've never come across before. So this was an exciting new pickup for me. They are marked Japan. These were $20 for the set, which I think is a really good price. But Janine and I were just talking and a little upset that a lot of the ceramics have stickers right on the red paint. And the reason why that upset us a little bit is if you're not familiar with vintage ceramics, the red paint back then was usually not glazed over. They weren't able to do that. They had to paint the red over the glaze. So it's very prone to flaking and chipping off. These are in impeccable condition. There's no red paint coming off. So what we'll do is heat up the sticker with a little bit of a heat gun and slowly peel it back to try to preserve any of the red paint. So when you're looking at vintage ceramics that do have red paint, you want to be especially careful not to scrub it with any Dawn or any water even.
Yeah, just plain water can damage it.
It's really the abrasion to it that makes it fall off. So, but really fun little set.
They're really cute.
They are. Like I said, I don't have these in our collection.
So they might have to be staying.
$20 is a great price. I'll have to really think about these. But yeah, this was a great pickup.
Yeah, I honestly think they're really cute, and I wouldn't be too
These can stay.
too upset with them staying now. Not that I'd be upset with anything Christmas staying in the collection, but we do have a ton of it to share with everyone.
Yeah.
And that's what's great too, is that there was a ton of Christmas at this sale, and it did seem like at least the first two groups that were let in, it did seem like almost everyone was able to get a little bit of that Christmas that they wanted. So pretty cool. And I just like when sales, there's like enough for it to go around.
Yeah, there was enough so that like it was very competitive, but like we all got something, so it was great. We picked up a lot of little doodads. Like I was able to get a lot of these Jewel Brights These are from the 70s.
I love the ones with the carolers.
They are made from plastic, very collectible, harder and harder to find. A lot of these little gnome guys that are made in Japan, these are so cute and also very collectible. They're made from plastic and paper mache. They're usually marked Japan on the bottom. I think one of these.
And the older ones, which are made of pine cones and such, are usually Germany, right?
Yep, from like the 50s. We've got some fun Santas. These really amazing, what are these? Ornament hanger boxes. Yep, really cool. These are atomic ornaments.
Like Sputnik ornaments.
And they go for a pretty penny. They're very fun. We have a few in our collection. I was really excited about these deer, Janine.
Yeah.
$15 for the two of them, which is a good price, but I noticed that one is missing its ear. You don't quite notice it. So that's okay. And I got 3 of these amazing, awesome ornaments from West Germany. They're marked on the caps. But what makes these really unique is that they have the cotton spun characters glued onto the front. This is Santa in a hot air balloon and the little snowman. I've never come across these before. Probably very collectible, sought after, really unique pieces. So that was really cool.
I was so happy to find this little Rudolph. At first I thought it was a book and music box, but it's actually a card, or it was a card, or I guess it still is a card.
A Christmas card?
A Christmas card. And it is a music box as well, and it plays Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
That's so cool. Wow.
I think it's so cool.
Is there a date on it?
I don't think so. Just a patent number.
Very cool. Probably from the 60s.
Really cool. I really like finding the vintage and old Rudolph stuff because we don't really come across it, especially stuff that was before the Rankin Bass claymation. So very fun to have found that. I think this might be like one of the only pieces that might stay in the collection for me. Wait, one of the only pieces from today that will stay in the collection.
You mean you're not selling off your entire Christmas collection?
Not yet.
But there might be one other thing that you keep from today's haul.
Yes. Okay, everyone, I don't know how long you guys have been watching our channel, but if you've been a subscriber or just a viewer for a while, you would have known that I am very into finding myself a piggy bank, and we have come pretty close a few times at the thrift store.
I think you've been searching for a while, like over a year.
Over a year, yeah. I saw this one in the estate sale, but I was like, I don't know. But Laura really pulled it out and showed the beauty of it and how cute it was. And we were both like, I like it. And she's like, I like it. And together we decided we should take this piggy bank home. And I think I've fulfilled the prophecy. I think this is the piggy bank. Yeah. What's really cool about this piggy bank too is that it's made by Napco Ware. So, Laura, tell us a little bit about Napco.
Yeah, Napco was a ceramics manufacturer from the mid-century, and they made all sorts of things, including piggy banks, but usually much smaller, usually glazed. This one is like a matte with sparkles, and it's got eyelashes. It is just
She is
so
beautiful.
Different.
I love her, you love her, and I think she is the piggy bank. Plus, she has a little plunger.
Yeah.
If I did want to store coins in her, we wouldn't have to break her to get them out. So I'm really happy with her. I love her glitter.
So great. I mean, she's like very dirty, so we'll give her a nice bath. We'll post some pictures on Instagram when that happens, and if we even wanted to touch up some of the sparse areas, we have some vintage chunky glitter we could do that with. So I think she's really fun, very unique, and she was only $15, which I think is quite a steal.
Yeah, I just from looking at the piggy banks at the thrift store, small ones can be like $10, so $15 for her was perfect. So this is a pretty cool find. This is a vintage 1971 Anna Lee Christmas stocking with the original tag still on it. Has a little mouse down here, the little tail over here, and her original tag.
It's really cool.
Which is really cool. And I think I'll probably put this on eBay. You know, Anna Lee stuff does really well. Vintage Anna Lee does really well. It's really cool. You don't come across something like this often, so very cool to have found. This book was, did you even see where this was, Laura, in the estate sale? Okay, so this was in the basement on a shelf that was on the floor behind another really dirty book. So it is really in rough shape. It definitely was down there for years, but it is so cool. This is the animals Merry Christmas, like, you know, bunch of stories or whatever. But what I found interesting about it was that the illustrations are done by Richard Scarry, and it doesn't say anything about him on the cover, so I figured this must have been an old copy of this book.
Right, because when you usually come across a Richard Scarry book that's newer, it'll say Richard Scarry's Merry Christmas, but that is interesting.
And this book is so cool. Look at that.
So awesome. Wow.
A little pop-up right there. And I think this might be the first printing.
That's pretty cool.
Copyright 1950. Right there.
Wow.
And I don't see any other printer, you know, printings, editions or anything. Look at the gold.
It's so cute.
It's so cool. I was really worried that it was gonna smell. Unfortunately, the basement kind of had an odor to it, and I was worried that this was gonna smell like that. It really doesn't. It does have like some staining and stuff like that, but I mean, this was from 1950. Parts of it are falling apart here. The plastic piece like this that goes over the cover is also coming off, but I think that I'm just gonna take that off because it is so yellowed and dirty, and I will have a much cleaner book after I peel this off.
Yep, and you could probably wipe it down a bit without damaging it any further.
Yeah.
Really cool find, Janine.
Yeah, and this is gonna stay in the collection, so I don't mind that it's gonna be kind of beat up and stuff like that. The interior is in really good shape, so this was a really fun find.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. I know I asked a lot of questions in the video, but I'd love to know your thoughts on, you know, the different things I mentioned, like going through bins at the estate sale, vintage furs. How do you feel? We love to hear your feedback and comments about anything and everything. We hope you had fun tagging along. So thank you guys so much.
See you next time.
Bye.
And hopefully see you tomorrow because we do have that sale and whatnot. So bye.